There is a kingdom called Aditya Sulagiri. The queen Satyavati, the wife of Narenadravarma, is suffering from pain. Mother of Magistry Vimala Devi comes there and says, "This is Hey Mantra Sahani. If there are any problem with the queen's delivery, there are no such problems. Mother of Magistry, have a happy delivery." This is what I am saying to the king. You just see the queen. "Okay, Majesty, I'll do the same without fail." After saying that, Mantasrani go to the queen's room. Even though he was anxiously waiting for the unborn child, approached Narenadravarma, mother of Magistry came and says this, "Narendra, unborn child is born white and beautiful. He is not born black like you, and queen is not ready for another marriage."
Mother of Dynasty.
Do you have any idea how my baby will be born?
"Yes, Narendra, but I didn't tell you to leave her. Mother of Majesty is asking you to get married again. You are born in my womb with likeness of your father, but your father got married again. I was lucky. She didn't give birth a boy. Otherwise, you and I would not be where at today." Meanwhile, the baby was heard crying from the room. Adivini, mother of Majesty, and Narendra were very happy. After some time, Mantasrani brought out the child. "Why so late, Mantasrani, mother of Magistry? She is not feeling well. So please forgive me for this delay." "Okay, give him to me." Mother of Magistry took the baby in her arm and saw the baby very white and beautiful, and she gifted a chain to Mantasrani, then sent her away. After few years, that child, with a great care, without letting them laid under the feet. That's how the child grows and becomes an adult. Rajya has a Gokulam in one side. There were herdsmen. In that, there where Gokulam was many people. The rest of the boys in Gokulam obeyed for this rule and did what he said, and they called him Viraraju. One day, while the boys tending cattle, a Brahmin came with wife and children, were seeing somewhere away from. Soon Virana says this is to his colleague,
Hurry up and call them here. Even though he is in a very depressed state, here they will rest for a while under the trees.
When they say that, the Kauravas go to that Brahmadevatta and say,
Where are you going? Virana is looking for you.
Hearing those words, and this is what he said,
Listen, we don't want anything.
He is going to go ahead. But the coward boy did not let him go, and this is say again,
You can't leave from here. Our brave king's words are like command to us. You must come with us and take rest over there.
They said that what else could have Brahmin do? Come to the place. Virana with his wife and children, he was sitting under the tree. When the Brahmin family came to the Giri, Virana stood up and joined his palm, and he said,
Oh, you are going on a long journey. Looking at you, you seem to be in trouble. Whatever help you want, we will do it if we can.
After hearing all these things, and Brahmin, what he said,
What you have guessed is true, Nayan. Truth and justice have perished in this kingdom. That's why I have decided to leave everything here and go abroad. Okay, what is the difficulty that has come to you? Can you explain? Who does not know me that well? He has called me and asked me to take rest. I must tell you the sad story of my life.
The Brahmin told his stories like this, and the Brahmin said,
I am a scholar. I have come to this village to make people educated, and I wish to live my life as simple as possible with my little earning. One day, a rich man came to our village, and he was very happy with me and gave me a sapphire as a gift. He was very impressed, but I did not sell it to anyone ever. I wanted it to remain in my clan forever as a token of my wisdom, and I carefully hid it so that nobody finds it. Meanwhile, one day, I was supposed to get my daughter married. A lot of money was needed for wedding expenses. I couldn't find a way to generate money. So I begged that sapphire
To a merchant.
and got a loan of 1,000 rupees for the wedding expenses. And after a year, I collected the interest of the money, paid off the debt
To merchant and
asked him to give that sapphire to me, and he denied to give it back.
merchant was a wicked man.
and he refused to give me back that sapphire.
Firstly, he counted the money and put in the box and said,
Okay, listen. Your sapphire is kept with my wife. When she returns home, then I will give it back to you, okay?
After said that, he went away from there. His wife came back after many days that he told to Brahmin and he will return the money. That was to be given to the Brahmin, turned him away from many time. One day merchant said to the Brahmin, I locked the pearl in my wife's locker and the key was founded.
I locked your sapphire in my wife's locker and I am unable to find the keys.
And he says that he is not at home. Finally, the merchant called Brahmin and said this,
What is this? Give me back my money that you have borrowed. Else, why would I give you back that sapphire?
When he changed his word at once, the Brahmin was shocked and could not tolerate that injustice. This is injustice, yelling loudly. After hearing this, he pushed the Brahmin out. Immediately Brahmin came to the king and complained about merchant. And merchant arrived with 2 men and testified his favor. And the witnesses said that they had seen the Brahmin to go out with this sapphire in front of the court. Brahmin came with him and told them, tell him what had happened, requested to tell him in the court and tell the truth.
If you have any evidence, then produce it in the court. But you are a Brahmin, and I believe you are not a greedy. Since you can't be punished, you can't.
Blame any merchant falsely.
Don't you dare do that. You have a good reputation in this society. Don't you have that sense? That's why I want to leave this country forever. I will leave this village along with my family. I wonder whether I would get justice or not. I can't live in this village with this humiliation anymore. The people here have already proven me guilty. Now you tell me, how could I live in this village? I will live somewhere else happily.
Virana says to him, after hearing all this story told by Brahmin,
O scholar,
if you believe me, I will see to it that justice is done to you. In this country, I will make sure that you get everything you need. So stop worrying unnecessarily.
He told his fellow boys to see all the facilities needed by the scholar. Those boys built a hut and bought some vegetables for them. The Brahmin's family needed rice, salt and pulses. The Brahmin was surprised to see all the arrangements and stayed there with his family. Then a young man sent a message to King Virana. If read by the king who received the message, the letter and follows, then the king go through the letter.
Greetings, Maharaj. My name is Virana. I want to inform you through this letter that you have not made the right decision in the case of a sapphire between a Brahmin and a
merchant.
Trial was not fair. This may give you a bad reputation. Therefore, if you allow me, I can personally come there and interrogate everyone together. I can tell you what the real truth is. The matter will be crystal clear.
At first, the king was surprised after reading this message. But the later he got curious and allowed Virana to come and investigate. Follow the Brahmin and came to the palace and told to the king how he had investigated. A man in the king's house, knowing the judge make about to the decision, conducted an inquiry to the queen and mother of majesty, the palace attendant sitting behind to the curtain. The shokas, witnesses and the Brahmin placed into the separate seats and the feet of the king. They are sat into the different place. Then they are called to tell their problems, one by one. As the king do justice, everyone. Then all were silent at the time. Then Veer Raju started to tell the Brahmin stories at the court.
Okay, tell me.
How big was the sapphire that you kept with the merchant?
Seeing the small stone showed by Virana, but then he said that, but the size of stone sapphire was. They pointed out that among the blue rags, there was his money in the light color. They paid too. Virana asked the scholar. By listening all those, Virana told them into the court.
Sir, do you have proof that you paid money?
When I went to the merchant,
There was no one along with him.
They said Aparu Virana question to the merchant.
Tell me.
May I know why you went to the merchant at the time?
Look and listen. I had lent him money, but he did not pay me back. Then what else I could do?
By listening all those, Virana told them, call the witnesses to come there.
Okay, tell me.
Why did you go to the merchant at that time?
Tell the court. My lord, I needed a loan of 500 rupees. At that time, merchant gave me money from the money owed by the scholar.
The first witness said, and second witness, who was immediately present, he called and asked this.
Tell me what you saw that day.
When I went to that merchant,
The scholar was there. He was wrapping the sapphire in a green silk cloth. The scholar was hiding it under the shirt.
Then they called the second witness. However, that witness did not tell everything correct and the color of blue sapphire. After that, he called the first witness again and asked Virana to the same question. And what he said, nothing matched whatever he said before. Virana sends the witness and said, this is to the king.
Did you notice, Majesty?
Both of them are the witness of the thief. If they bring out
Why, merchant?
brought the evidence of the thief, this investigation will be completed. We will know who the real thief is.
if merchant is not telling the truth,
His wife may be called and investigated. We can also go to his house and investigate whether Nari was there or not. When did Nari leave? When Nari came back?
With what Virana said, that king understood that investigation will be done. With his observation, he called the witnesses who had been by bought the shokaru, and the king told them like this, and he says,
It seems that both of you have lied. So tell me the truth quickly, else you will be punished.
when the king threatens them, both of them fall in front of king's feet and tell the real truth.
Maharaj, please forgive us.
that merchant gave both of us.
500 rupees to testify this. Please forgive us.
It's true, the witnesses after reveal the truth, and Shakaru has no choice confess to the crime. Immediately the princess went to the spouse along with the merchant and brought a hidden sapphire and the compensation money imposed by the king, then gave it to the scholar. After that, the king punishes merchant and his witnesses and took them to the prison. After that, he appreciated those brave men who cooperated the proper investigation. Apadu Pandita Virana, the scholar, looked to the hand and said,
Maharaj, this person is not an ordinary person. The lines of his hand say that his parents may have belonged to any royal couple who were hiding somewhere. I got to know this by studying the lines of his palms.
Annaru, she hearing these words to the next room, Maharani Savitri was faint. Aparu gives him to the doctor for treatment and brings her that hall. After that, the king called her and asked her,
You have listened the words of that scholar already. Why did you faint?
The king is black. When I was pregnant, I heard the queen saying that even if the child you have is black, you should take another white. That's why if I have a black child, I will have no future with this birth. That's why the maid was very learned and brought the child from the Gokulam here. She left her child in Gokulam, and that day she showed the child to the real mother. These are our children who grew up in Gokulam. If not, you do any other marriage for the reason I kept my son there and pick a beautiful child along with me. In reality, that child is our child.
Huh? What are you saying?
When the queen said that, the real reason why the king, who had raised him as his son, all the reasons was understood by the king, and immediately he happily accepted Virana and his child. He thanked those who has raised him and publicly proclaimed him the prince of that kingdom. If you like the story, then please like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon. Do subscribe our new storybook channel.